Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Sanctuary. It's time for some DFS action. Sit tight. I'm going to walk you through the key picks for this week's Fantasy Game Day slate. That's right. I'm going to walk you through the 10 key players that I'm entering in my Fantasy Game Day lineups this week. It is a very, very tough slate. There are 4 games, far fewer picks. There are no real obvious enablers, so setting that lineup has become tougher than ever this week. If you haven't tried out Fantasy Game Day, it is a brand new DFS app only for UK players. You can try it out for free on that second entry using our code TFS23. You go to deposit, enter a first lineup, and then you get that free second entry and hopefully bring home some cash prizes. So the big thing about Fantasy Game Day is you get that captain pick. This week, I'm not messing about. I'm going the big high-priced items. At wide receiver, that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's got that juicy matchup against Tampa Bay. Now, they're an okay defense against intermediate to deep routes from wide receivers, but they get absolutely torn up by anything underneath. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 12 targets in the last game against Tampa Bay. I wouldn't be shocked to see double-digit targets again this week. I think that he could be an absolute slate breaker, and at 7,500, yes, it's a little expensive. Yes, you need to give a little bit across the rest of your lineup to get him in, but I think you've got to go big at the captain position. And then the other option is Christian McCaffrey. We know that he's going to get the work. He seems to be back fully healthy from the calf strain. And let's be honest, this Green Bay defense can still be run on inside zone, outside zone. We know that they struggle against both of those. Christian McCaffrey could absolutely feast. And when a guy's averaging 24.5 points per game through the season, you want to get him in your lineups, quite frankly. So it feels like the captain pick. It's one of those two. You can get a little bit fancy and maybe go for a lower priced option. But if one of these two hits and you've not got them, it could be that you're really costing yourself points this week. At the quarterback position, sticking with those two matchups. So Jared Goff, an obvious stacking option with Amon-Ra St. Brown. As I said, they've got an okay defense against those kind of deep to intermediate routes, but they really struggle in the short to underneath. If Todd Bowles is going to blitz Jared Goff, we know that he's competent at getting that ball out quick, throwing hot, and I think that he could have an okay game. And, 5,700, you're not needing a massive performance. If he's putting up 16, 17 points, you're getting that 3 times multiplier. And then the other option is Brock Purdy. Of course, he's got plenty of options that you can stack him with. I think that 50.5 over under, if you want to get some options from this game, it feels like you could go almost onslaught and just load up a load of 49ers. Would enable you to have to go cheap elsewhere, but you could go a lot worse than loading up on that sort of offense. At the running back position, the one key enabler this week, Justice Hill. There are basically no good super cheap running backs or super cheap wide receivers. It feels like every lineup I've built has had to have Justice Hill in there just to enable me to get some higher priced options. At £3,100, you're looking for 9 to 10 points. Well, hopefully he can hit that. He's averaging 6.9 points per game through the season, but obviously there was a few weeks where a few other backs were leading the way against a Houston defense that we know can give up passing options to the running back position. So you're just hoping for 10 points and enabling you to hopefully add some higher priced options. And then James Cook, 5,100 this week. I think if the Bills are going to win this game, they're going to need to be able to run the ball consistently, and James Cook's going to have to be a part of that. The other thing, take you back to the in-season game, Kansas City versus Buffalo. James Cook had a monster game where he was being used out of the backfield. There was the one play where Josh Allen checked to the wheel route for him and he tore down the sideline. I think James Cook can have a monster game and he could help bring home you some serious cash if he does blow up this week. At the wide receiver position, there's no great options this week. I quite like Rashee Rice, Josh Reynolds if you're looking for a really cheap option, but Stefon Diggs, Chris Godwin, Don't love them, don't love the matchups, but just feel the prices are pretty good. You know, Stefon Diggs under 5,000 when you think you're saving £2,600 versus Amon-Ra St. Brown to get him in your lineup. And then Chris Godwin, 4,300. Again, don't love it, but just think that that game could have a lot of passing. It is inside in the dome. We've not got any weather to worry about. So hopefully Chris Godwin, you know, a touchdown, he's potentially looking at paying off his price already. At the tight end position, now this is absolutely wild. Travis Kelce is the 5th price tight end this week on the slate. He is 3,500. He is an absolute must start in every single one of your lineups at that price. I think he could easily go 4 or 5 times multiplier this week. And then if you're looking for someone cheap, Cade, and I already said that Detroit Tampa Bay game, that's the one that I quite fancy attacking if I'm looking to stack some options. 2,300. If you're looking for an enabler, maybe you can, you know, slot him in at the flex position, go for that double tight end look with Kelce. It feels like that's the kind of thing you're going to need to do in order to be able to afford the likes of McCaffrey or Amon-Ra St. Brown in your lineups. Is there someone that you fancy this week that I've not mentioned? Let us know in the comments below. Use that code TFS23 for that second free entry. And of course, if you're having success on the platform, let us know. There's nothing I love more than hearing that guys watching this video, people watching this video are succeeding. So let us know in the comments or give us a shout on Twitter.